Adara Okonkwo, the 22-year-old heiress to one of the city's most prominent oil tycoon families, stood frozen under the crystal chandeliers, her designer gown soaked in champagne and scandal. Her father, Chief Emeka Okonkwo, a man whose name commanded respect in boardrooms and government halls, clutched his chest as if his heart might explode. Her mother, the elegant Mrs. Neka Okonkwo, renowned for her charity galas and impeccable social standing, collapsed to her knees, tears streaming down her face, smearing her perfectly applied makeup. The room was a whirlwind of chaos. Flashes from paparazzi cameras blinded everyone as whispers turned to shouts. Ada had just been caught red handed in a heated altercation with a married senator's wife, accusations flying like daggers. Infidelity, embezzlement from the family foundation, and worst of all, a leaked video circulating on social media showing Ada in a compromising position with the senator himself. How could you do this to us? Chief Okonkwo bellowed, his voice cracking with raw betrayal, the veins in his neck bulging like rivers about to flood. Ada's eyes darted wildly, her usual haughty smirk replaced by sheer terror. What had started as a lavish birthday party for her was now a public execution of her family's reputation. Would the Okonkwas ever recover? How deep did Ada's secrets run? And what humiliating lesson awaited her in the ruins of her spoiled life? Before we unravel the full tale of betrayal, redemption, and the bitter taste of humility, hit that subscribe button right now to never miss out on more gripping stories like this. Tales that dive into the heart of Nigerian high society, filled with drama, emotion, and life changing lessons. Your subscription keeps these stories coming. And hey, drop a comment below. What do you think Ada did to push her family to the brink? Share your predictions and let's discuss. Your engagement makes these stories even more alive. Now let's dive into the story. In the bustling streets of Port Harcourt, where the Niger Delta's oil wealth flowed like an endless river, the Okonkwo family resided in a sprawling mansion in GRA Phase 2. Chief Emeka Okonkwo had built his empire from scratch, starting as a humble engineer in the oil fields and rising to own shares in multinational corporations. His wife, Neka, a former beauty queen turned philanthropist, managed the family's charitable foundation, organizing events that fed the poor and educated the underprivileged. They were the epitome of success, pillars of the community, envied and admired. But their only daughter, Adaora, affectionately called Ada by friends and foes alike, was the crown jewel that had turned into a thorn. Born into luxury, Ada had never known a day without servants attending to her whims. From imported toys as a child to luxury cars as a teenager, her life was a parade of excess. My princess deserves the world, Chief Okonkwo would say, showering her with gifts, the latest iPhone, designer bags from Milan, and vacations to Dubai. Neka, ever the doting mother, defended Ada's every tantrum, believing that love meant indulgence. Ada grew up beautiful, with skin like polished ebony and eyes that sparkled with mischief. At 18, she enrolled in the University of Port Harcourt, studying business administration, but her real education came from the city's nightlife. Clubs like the Vault and Eden Lounge became her playgrounds, where she mingled with the elite, sons of governors, daughters of oil barons, and even shady figures from the shadows of the Delta's underbelly. Tension simmered early. One evening, as the family dined on jollof rice and grilled fish prepared by their live-in chef, Ada slammed her fork down. Daddy, I need a new car. The Mercedes is sold last year. Chief Okonkwo sighed, his face etched with fatigue from a long day negotiating contracts. Ada, you've had 3 cars in 2 years. Learn to appreciate what you have. But Neka intervened, her voice soft but firm. Emeka, she's our only child. Let her have it. And so Ada got her way, driving off in a brand new BMW, leaving her parents exchanging worried glances. Little did they know, this was just the beginning. Ada's spoiled nature was a ticking bomb, and the fuse was already lit. What secrets was she hiding behind her glamorous facade? Would her parents' blind love lead to their downfall? As the sun set over the Bonny River, Ada slipped out to another party, her heart racing with the thrill of forbidden adventures. The emotional weight of her parents' expectations hung over her like a storm cloud, but she pushed it away, craving the freedom that money couldn't buy, or so she thought. Ada's university life was a facade of lectures and luxury. She skipped classes, relying on her father's donations to the school to keep her grades afloat. Her real world revolved around her circle of friends, Kioma, the socialite influencer with million followers on Instagram, Kelechi, the charming son of a local politician, and Tamara, the wild one who introduced Ada to the underground parties where Port Harcourt's elite shared their public personas. One humid afternoon in the university's air-conditioned library, though Ida was there more for the Wi-Fi than books, she met Senator Victor Ige. He was twice her age, married and powerful, with a seat in the National Assembly. "You're the Okonkwo girl, aren't you?" he said, his smile predatory under the fluorescent lights. Ada, flattered by the attention from such a high-profile figure, batted her eyelashes. "Yes, Senator, and you are." She knew exactly who he was, everyone did. Their conversation flowed like the oil in her father's pipelines, smooth and lucrative. Victor promised introductions to Abuja's power brokers, hinting at opportunities for Ada's future. But beneath the charm lay tension. Victor was embroiled in corruption scandals, whispers of embezzlement from public funds. Ada ignored the red flags, drawn to the excitement. That night, at a yacht party on the Bonny River, the emotional stakes rose. Ada, dressed in a shimmering red gown, danced under the stars with Victor. Kelechi pulled her aside, his face twisted in concern. "Ada, what are you doing? He's married and dangerous." Ada laughed it off, her voice laced with defiance. "Mind your business, Kelechi. I'm just having fun." But deep down, a flicker of guilt stirred. Images of her parents' proud faces at her high school graduation flashed in her mind. As the party raged, Ada overheard Victor on a call. "Yes, the foundation money will cover it. No one will know." Curiosity gnawed at her. What foundation? Her mother's? She pushed the thought away, drowning it in champagne. But the seed of intrigue was planted. What if Victor was using her family's name for his schemes? The night ended with a stolen kiss, leaving Ada breathless and conflicted. Back home, as dawn broke, Nika waited up, her eyes red from worry. "Ada, where have you been?" Ada snapped. "Out, Mom! I'm not a child." The hurt in Neka's eyes was palpable, a silent plea for the daughter she once knew. Chief Okonkwo, overhearing, felt a pang in his chest. Was this the price of their success? The drama escalated when Ada's phone buzzed with a mysterious text. "I know what you're up to. Watch your back." Who was it? Friend or foe? The curiosity built, pulling Ada deeper into a web of deceit. Months passed, and Ada's entanglement with Victor deepened. They met in secret at upscale hotels like the Novotel in Port Harcourt, where discretion was as expensive as the rooms. Victor showered her with gifts, diamond earrings, a gold watch, even cash for her expenses. Ada justified it as networking, but the emotional toll was evident. She lost weight, her once vibrant eyes now shadowed with secrets. At home, the atmosphere thickened with unspoken words. Chief Okonkwo buried himself in work, expanding his oil ventures into renewable energy, hoping to leave a legacy beyond wealth. Nika threw herself into her foundation, organizing a gala to raise funds for orphanages in the Delta Creeks. "Ada, why don't you join me? It could be good for you," Nika suggested one morning over breakfast of akara and pap. Ada rolled her eyes. "Mom, that's your thing. I have my own life." But inside, curiosity about Victor's earlier phone call lingered. One day, while Neka was out, Ada sneaked into her mother's office, rifling through files. She found discrepancies, donations from anonymous sources, funds transferred to unfamiliar accounts. Her heart pounded. Was Victor involved? The tension peaked at a family dinner with extended relatives. Uncle Chidi, Chief Okonkwo's brother, pulled Ada aside. I've heard rumors, niece. Be careful. With that senator, he's not what he seems. Ada feigned innocence, but her stomach churned. That night, she confronted Victor in a heated phone call. Are you using my family's foundation? He laughed it off. Darling, it's business. You'll benefit too. Emotion overwhelmed her. Tears streamed as she drove aimlessly through Port Harcourt's traffic choked roads, past the bustling Elimate Junction. She thought of her parents' sacrifices, her father's long hours in the oil rigs, her mother's forfeited dreams of a career in fashion to raise her. Guilt clawed at her, but pride kept her silent. Meanwhile, the anonymous text continued. Your parents deserve better. End it before it's too late. Who was watching? The curiosity was unbearable, fueling Ada's reckless decisions. Little did she know, the gala would be the stage for her unraveling. The night of NECA's charity gala arrived, held at the Civic Center in Old Gra, Port Harcourt. The venue buzzed, with Nigeria's elite, governors, CEOs, and celebrities. Ada arrived late, arm in arm with Victor, who was a special guest. Her gown, a custom Versace, turned heads, but whispers followed. Isn't he married? And she's so young. Chief Okonkwo greeted guests with a forced smile, his mind on a recent audit showing missing funds from the foundation. NECA, radiant in a traditional wrapper, announced the evening's success. Thanks to generous donors, we've raised over 50 million naira for the children. Applause erupted, but Ada felt a knot in her throat. She knew Victor had contributed laundered money. Tension exploded when Victor's wife, Mrs. Eek, a sharp-tongued socialite, confronted Ada in the ladies' room. You little homewrecker, stay away from my husband. Ada, fueled by champagne and defiance, retorted, He's the one chasing me. The argument spilled into the hallway, voices rising. Back in the ballroom, as Neka gave her speech, a video, projected on the screen, meant to showcase the foundation's work, glitched. Instead, a leaked clip played, Ada and Victor in an intimate embrace at a hotel, interspersed with documents showing embezzled funds. Gasps filled the room. Chief Okonkwo's face drained of color. Neka fainted on stage. Ada stood paralyzed as chaos ensued. Paparazzi swarmed, phones recording every tear, every shout. How could you? Chief Okonkwo roared, his voice breaking. Ada fled the scene, tears blinding her as she drove into the night, her world crumbling. In the aftermath, the family's disgrace hit the headlines. Oil heiress in scandal, Okonkwo empire shaken. Ada's phone blew up with hate messages. Emotionally shattered, she hid in a hotel, questioning everything. Who leaked the video? The anonymous texter? Hey reader, if this drama has you on the edge of your seat, like and share this story with your friends. Let's spread the lesson of humility far and wide. What would you do? In Ada's shoes? Comment below. The days following the gala were a blur of humiliation for the Okonkwos. Chief Emeka locked himself in his study, fielding calls from business partners withdrawing investments. Our reputation is tarnished, he muttered to Neka, who lay in bed devastated, her charity work now under investigation by the EFCC, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Ada, holed up in a seedy motel on Aba Road to avoid the media, wrestled with remorse. Flashbacks haunted her, childhood memories of her father carrying her on his shoulders during family outings to the Port Harcourt tourist beach, her mother's gentle bedtime stories. I've ruined them, she sobbed into her pillow. Curiosity drove her to investigate the leak. Using a burner phone, she contacted Kelechi. It wasn't me, he swore, but mentioned Tamara acting suspicious. Ada confronted Tamara at a cafe in Transamadi. You jealous bitch, Ada accused. Tamara denied it, but her shifty eyes betrayed her. A fight ensued, tables overturning, drawing police attention. Emotionally drained, Ada returned home under cover of night. The mansion felt cold. servants averting their eyes. Ada, we need to talk, Neka said, her voice trembling. The family meeting was tearful. Accusations, apologies, raw pain. Chief Okonkwo revealed the foundation's near bankruptcy due to the scandal. You've disgraced us all. But amid the tension, a glimmer of hope. Ada vowed to make amends. Yet, Victor called, threatening exposure of more secrets if she didn't help him flee. What more could there be? The curiosity pulled her back into danger. Ada's quest for truth led her to the underbelly of Port Harcourt. Disguised in a hoodie, she met a private investigator in a dimly lit bar near the Mile 1 market. The leak came from inside your circle, he revealed, showing evidence pointing to Kioma, jealous of Ada's spotlight. Confronting Kioma at her apartment in Rumola, Eta, found betrayal deeper than imagined. You were always the favorite, Kioma spat, admitting she leaked the video for revenge after Ada stole a modeling gig. Tears flowed as friendship shattered. Meanwhile, the family's emotional strain intensified. Nika suffered a breakdown, hospitalized at the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital. Chief Okonkwo visiting her confessed his own flaws. I spoiled her too much. It's my fault. Ada, overhearing, felt a surge of guilt. Tension rose when Victor ambushed Ada at her car. Help me or your family suffers more, he demanded, revealing he had siphoned funds with her unwitting help. Ada recorded the conversation secretly, her heart racing. Would this be her redemption? Curiosity about her own strength grew. As rain poured over the city, Ada drove to the police but hesitated. The emotional weight was crushing. Betray her lover or her family. With the recording in hand, Ada turned to her uncle Chidi for advice. In his modest home in Diobu, away from the glamour, he urged, do the right thing, Ada. Humility starts with accountability. Inspired, Ada went to the EFCC office in Port Harcourt, handing over evidence against Victor. The arrest made headlines. Senator Eek boosted in corruption scandal. Okonkwo daughter turns whistleblower. The family's reaction was mixed. Chief Okonkwo hugged her, tears in his eyes. I'm proud, my daughter. Neka, recovering, smiled weakly. You've grown. But tension lingered. Ada faced backlash, threats from Victor's allies, social ostracism. Emotionally, she broke down in therapy, confronting her spoiled past. I thought money bought happiness, she admitted. Curiosity about a simpler life led her to volunteer at an orphanage in the creeks, traveling by boat to Borikiri. There, amid poverty, she found purpose, teaching children and reflecting on her privileges. Yet, a new mystery. Anonymous gifts arrived at the orphanage, signed A. Friend who was helping. The intrigue kept her engaged. Hey, if you're loving this journey from spoil to humility, subscribe now for exclusive updates and more emotional tales. Tell me in the comments, has a betrayal ever changed your life? Victor's trial brought the Okonkwas to Abuja, where courtrooms buzzed with drama. Ada testified, her voice shaking as she detailed the affair and embezzlement. Cross-examination was brutal. Weren't you complicit, Miss Okonkwo? Tears welled, but she stood firm. Back in Port Harcourt, the family rebuilt. Chief Okonkwo downsized their lifestyle, selling luxury cars. Neka revived the foundation with transparent audits. Ada, now working a job at a local NGO, learned budgeting. No more designer sprees. Emotional highs and lows abounded. A reconciliation dinner turned tearful when Ada apologized. I disgraced you, but I'm changing. Hugs followed, healing wounds. Tension spiked with a kidnapping. Attempt on Ada by Victor's thugs. Rescued by police, she emerged stronger, curiosity about her resilience growing. In quieter moments, she explored Port Harcourt's cultural side, visiting the National Museum, reflecting on Nigeria's history. Humility bloomed. Ada's transformation deepened. She enrolled in online courses on ethics and management, applying lessons to help her mother's foundation. Friendships reformed. Kelechi became a true ally, their bond platonic and supportive. One evening at the Port Harcourt Polo Club, Ada met Ifeanyi, a humble teacher from a middle class family. Their conversation sparked genuine connection, no flash, just depth. You've been through fire, he said, admiring her growth. Family bonds strengthened. A weekend trip to the Yankari Game Reserve brought laughter and stories, mending emotional scars. But curiosity persisted. The anonymous donor revealed themselves as Uncle Chidi, testing Ada's commitment. You passed, he said proudly. Tension arose when old habits tempted Ada, a lavish party invite. She declined, choosing a quiet night with family. If this story's emotional roller coaster has you hooked, hit like and share. Let's inspire more people with tales of growth. What's your biggest life lesson? Comment. Just as life stabilized, Victor escaped prison, vowing revenge. Threats arrived. You'll pay, Ada. The family went into hiding at a safe house in Elilenwo. Emotional strain tested them. Neka relapsed into anxiety. Chief Okonkwo armed the house. Ada, fueled by fear and curiosity, worked with investigators to track Victor. A dramatic chase through Port Harcourt's markets ended with Victor's recapture. Ada confronted him in jail. I pity you, she said, her voice steady. The experience solidified her humility. She started a blog on privilege and responsibility, gaining followers. With Victor behind bars for good, forgiveness flowed. Ada organized a family retreat in Calabar, where open talks healed old wounds. She mentored youth in Port Harcourt slums, sharing her story. Humility isn't weakness, it's strength, she taught. Emotion peaked at her parents' anniversary party, modest, intimate. Toast celebrated Ada's change. Curiosity about her future led to a proposal from Ifeanyi. Yes, she said, tears of joy flowing. Reader, if Ada's redemption moves you, subscribe for more inspiring stories. What's one act of humility you've witnessed? Share in comments. Ada's life flourished. She took over the foundation, expanding it ethically. Her wedding to Ifeanyi was simple, in a Port Harcourt church, surrounded by true friends. Chief Okonkwo retired, proud. Neka traveled, fulfilled. Ada reflected, spoiled no more, I found true wealth in humility. But a final twist, a letter from Victor, apologizing. Years later, Ada, now a mother, told her children her story by the Bonny River. Never take privilege for granted, she said. The Okonkwo's legacy endured, not in wealth, but in lessons of humility. Port Harcourt remembered them as symbols of redemption. The end, or just the beginning?